Welcome to Hell House. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the King of Derp coming to you live from the South, the deep South. Today I want to talk about Hell House. Now, I know many people has seen videos and pictures about Hell House. Well, I'm here to tell you I have personally experienced it, and it's crazy. When I was 15 years old, my ag teacher came in front of the class and told us that their church is putting on a program called Hell House. Now, I never have heard of it at the time before. Of course, since then, they've just blowed up everywhere. But a friend of mine and myself decided we wanted to go. So about 2 nights later, we went on a bus with a church group to this place called Hell House. So we get there, and first of all, the kids range from age maybe 8 to probably 17, and they were like all kinds of buses and vans and cars all around the area from different churches to go on this Hell House tour. Now, the video starts off with 2 cheerleaders and 2 basketball players leaving a basketball game in a car, and they're going down the road, and there's a little bit of drinking and alcohol and a little bit of pot smoking going on, and they come up to an intersection not paying no attention, and they get T-boned by a semi-truck. Then the video fades to black, and it comes back on, and there they are in the car, and it's like they're hovering in a void of space. It's just all black, and they're talking about, where are we at? What are we doing here? And so they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. They don't even realize they're dead. So next thing you know, they turn around and one person's gone. Then they're like, what's going on? And all of a sudden another person is gone. And so it went on like that until all 4 people were gone. And then it cuts away that they're in hell and they're literally being tortured. They're like flayed on a board with everything hanging out, and the video stops. That's the end of it. So they tell us to get up, and we go outside, and my friend Brian looks over at me and says, dude, what the hell have we gotten into? And I was like, Brian, I don't know. So we go and we get in line with the rest of the group and a bunch of other groups, and I'm not kidding, this line was over an hour long. So we get up to the front of the line where you get on to this roller coaster. Now, I've been to this park when it was open, and it's a kiddie roller coaster that is encased. So originally the roller coaster was fun, exciting. It always had these little animations, coming at you, little boo scares, but it was fun. So we get up to the front of the line, and there's a guy where the entrance is to get on to the ride. He has a headset similar to what I got on, and he says, what's your boys' names? And so I tell him mine, and my friend Brian, he tells him his. So next thing you know, here comes a cart around the corner, and it's empty, and they tell us to get in it. The cart's big enough for 2 people. So here we go. We're going up the ramp, going. Now at the very top, there's a guy standing there, and it looks like he's on the track, but he's actually above the track. And he's standing there, and he looks like he's Jesus. He's got the long hippie hair, typical Jesus, and he's got his hands out like this. And we get almost to the top, and he says our name and says, sorry, I never knew you. And so we go under Jesus, and we're just going, And the cart would always slow down before we'd get to a curve. And so every time it would slow down, it was all some kind of scene about what it's like to be in hell. So the cart would always slow down. It's all pitch black. And you get to a certain area on the track, and all of a sudden a light would come on, and it would be reenactors reenacting what it's like to be in hell. And if I remember right, the first one was an abortion where there was this lady. She was on the gurney, and she's got her legs up, and blood. I mean, just blood everywhere supposed to be coming out of her. And the doctor, he's like snipping off, like it looks like a part, for a fetus. And there's like this demon thing that's like kind of hovering over her, and he's like. So this sadistic doctor takes this gooey looking thing, it's supposed to be a fetus, takes it over the trash can, and it's one of those trash cans you put your foot on and the lid opens, and he just throws it like it's, paper towel or something that's, into the trash can. So it all gets black, and so we're going just a little bit further, and all of a sudden another light comes up from over here. And it'll show people that's like being flayed on a board against the wall, and a demon, and he's like whipping them with a cat of nine tails, and there'd be another demon saying, "You wouldn't be here if you wasn't so sinful." We go down a little bit further, and all of a sudden a light comes on, and you look over, and there's this guy, and he's flat on his back like this, and he's completely open from about here all the way down, probably to his dick, just wide open. And there's these three demons, and they're crouched down over him, and one's got his heart, and eating it, and the other two are like eating his intestines, and the light goes off. This is fun, huh? Periodically, it would, in the dark, there's people in the corners, and you can't see shit. And they're grabbing at your clothes, making demonic sounds, So we just went through the ride, and it's just a slow, steady pace, and the lights would come back on, and it'd be people being tortured and whipped, and more of the heart eating, and so it gets pitch black again, and the cart is going a little bit slower, and it stops. So when it stops, there's a guy over in the corner, and he goes, "Get out." Again, like I said, when I was younger, I took this ride, and it was a hell of a lot more fun. But when you get out of the cart, it's all pitch black still. But you got to go down this fucked up hallway. It just like lefts and rights and so on. And the floors goes higher, goes lower. The ceilings get lower and higher, narrower and wider, until you finally come up to a curtain. So you go through the curtain, and there is literally an army of young youth ministers, and of course they got their Bible and little pamphlets, and they separate you from other people. It's a one-on-one, and they ask you 20-30 questions about your personal experience with God, like, have you been baptized? Do you believe that Jesus died on the cross for you, and so on. So after you tell them pretty much, I'm not interested, I even use the excuse, well, my dad's a preacher, and I get it, I understand. So after that, we all gather together till everybody is done. And of course, there's snacks and all this shit, icing on the cake. And me and my friend Brian, we get on the bus to head back home. So we stop at Taco Bell, and our teacher buys us some tacos, So we go back home, and we get off the bus, and me and Brian, we really don't say anything. We're just like, what the fuck did we just do? So anyway, the best thing of the night was we got to stop at Taco Bell and got some tacos, and they were pretty damn good. So the next day, we're in class, and I was supposed to be doing work, or I was doing work, and there's somebody over the intercom asking to talk to me and Brian, and for us to go to the office. So we go to the office, and we walk into the main lobby part, and there is our ag teacher with his daughter. Now, his daughter was one of the youth ministers the night before that was pulling kids aside and basically drilling them about their experience, and So he pulls us into the principal's office because the principal wasn't in there. He was just basically taking us in there to have a private conversation with. So he goes to ask us, well, what'd you think about it? I mean, all excited, that he achieved something. And it was like, it was okay, we didn't want to hurt the guy's feelings. He was a nice guy, but God, this was some evil, sadistic shit. And for about 15-20 minutes, he had us and basically drilled us with the same bullshit we had to go through the night before. And it was asking us what did we like about it and things. And so we just basically gave him what he wanted to get the hell out of there, because it was almost lunchtime and we were going to eat. So anyway, yeah, that's my experience with Hell House. What kind of sadistic bullshit this was? Why would a parent take an influential child to see this, and yet their justification is for them to learn and educate of where they'd go if they're not good little boys and good little girls? That's evil. Plain and simple, to show your kids something like that. As a parent, there is no way in hell that I would let a little child be experienced that I had. And luckily I was 15 years old and I had a little more understanding about certain things than a little kid does. And this is exactly what churches do. They feed these kids all this bullshit, and you're lucky you don't make a fucking psychopath out of them. But that night, as I look back at what happened that night, and when I look around and I saw bunch of these kids from very little to well into being a teenager crying, they don't want to go to hell. Please, I don't want to go to hell. That would fuck a kid up so easy. And it's okay. How is this okay? I don't understand what goes through a parent's mind, or the people that put on this show, to let a child go through this. But churches being irresponsible and putting on these shows, and kids going to Jesus camp, and kids going to Christian academies, and they're being spoon-fed this all the way from little all the way up to teenager. No wonder that these kids are so hard to get to, that they can't think outside of the box because they've been drilled so hard their entire life in this way of thinking. I get that you believe that there's a God, and I believe that in some kind of fucked up sadistic way you think that you're helping a child, but you're damaging that child. You're giving that child no choice in what to really think. How cruel are you to put children through this? It's bullshit. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you agree or disagree, leave a comment below. And if you want to, please subscribe. Until next time, this is King of Dirt signing off. Bye.